Hello, people. How you doing today? This feels kind of weird. I haven't done a live 2 weeks. There's been a purpose behind it. As you know, a person that is close to me is in the hospital, and I didn't really want to come on here doing a bunch of stuff until I knew exactly what was going on. And today we found out that she's going to be coming home soon, which is nice. I want to talk to you about a couple things. First of all, thank who's ever here right now. Thank you. I do appreciate it. And I've been getting a lot of stuff. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of stuff that like Tony attacking me. Let me just explain one thing to you about my relationship with Tony. Tony calls me and tells me, "Hey Lee, I'm going to hit you up a little bit. I'm going to, don't take it personal." That's just the way Tony is. Tony's the least of my problems here. Um, Being away for a couple of weeks has been kind of good because there's a lot of fighting going on. And I mean, really a lot. And if people understand that there was a time where I was accused of causing these fights. So I haven't been here for 2 weeks. These fights have not stopped. They're worse than ever. I mean, you literally have people coming on like to have breakdowns. I mean, really? This is the wrong place to be if you're going to have an emotional breakdown. I've been called every name in the book, from child molester to ripping off people that I love or care for, just horrible stuff. And that's why I want to talk to you first about Al. And Al, I got some advice for you. If you cannot take a little insult and going on and calling people names and taking up for one person and saying F you to everybody else, going after MRE is like a huge mistake. And this is why your show will never go anywhere. And this is why you're getting more dislikes than likes. But I just want to show you something here with Al. Okay, Al tried to erase this show this morning. He did a show this morning and he tried to erase it. But as we know, one second, please.
Hey,
AC,
what's
how you
up,
doing?
Lee? Excellent.
I'm going to throw Al.
Excellent.
I'm going to throw Al in real quick and go over. So this is he tried to erase this morning, but New Beginnings downloaded it, and basically we have Al. I'm showing this, and it's fair use, so it doesn't matter. And people, just so you know, I've gotten 4 copyrights in the last 2 weeks of people trying to shut down my show. Every copyright has been rejected by YouTube. So you still have people, copywriting is snitching. And now what they're doing is people are trying to use copyright to literally stop shows because they don't have the balls to just debate with the person or whatever. So what they have to do is they have to do the new form of ratting, copywriting. So like I said, I've gotten 4 copyrights. YouTube rejected all of them. I've been called a racist in these copyrights and a few other things. YouTube did not believe it. YouTube could not find me doing any of this on any of my shows. So basically, these people are getting rejected. But they're going to continue it, and and they're going to keep shutting. What do you think, Jeff? What do you think about people using copyrights to try to shut down shows?
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's ratting. If it's one thing if a guy makes his entire channel stealing somebody's content the whole time, and because at that point it's theft, or constantly live streaming other people's shows in order to clout chase and make money off of other people's content. But what they're doing is not that. What they're doing is targeting you, and they've hit me with a few as well, based on them not agreeing with what you say. Obviously, this Lush has proven his, what you and I have known for the last 3 to 5 weeks, you before me, because he came at you first. But the guy is a fraud. He has some serious issues in his life. And I hope he gets better as far as the alcoholism, but it's obvious he's got an issue. And he put these people on. There's that one gal who was an affirmative action hiree claiming to be part of the Department of Homeland Security, who was threatening you and I. He gave her a platform, and she came out trashing you and I. There's others that have as well. And with these people, it's really, really scary knowing that someone like that is possibly working for the federal government, the IRS, DHS, FBI, etc. Because you know what they're going to do. They have that critical race theory garbage that are indoctrinated in college before that, which I know that firsthand because I went to a school in California. Before all this woke stuff became national, it was already here. And so it's scary knowing that these people are in the helm of power. There is no such thing as institutional racism, etc.
Exactly.
But they will treat us in that way, Lee.
Okay.
And they're reporting us to YouTube for that.
Okay, Jeff, I'm going to play. He tried to erase this morning, so I'm just going to play just in case people missed it, how nuts this guy is going.
Hey, I can call a spade a spade. Others are out there that know
Isn't that
a ton more about the mob than I do.
Yeah.
And they can cover it. Probably enjoy it a hell of a lot than I do. A lot more about than I do. Let me for a wasp go with one-armed MRE. Are you jealous of my success? I can't say. I mean, geez, I've only been out here a couple of, the people that do watch my show and I interact with during the live streams, they have been tremendous, and I enjoy the interaction. Some tremendous people out there. Drivers, the one good met, at least over the screen. In real life or on the screen, and those are people that I block. Get them the fuck out of there. Tremendous success. I don't know. Yeah, there's probably some jealousy out there with some of them. Yeah, because they can see, that I know how to bring it and I'm the real deal. And that scares some people. They get spooked by that. Like the mob rats exposed, the Lee Coles, people like that. They see me and they shit. Yeah. Yeah, you wonder why would somebody be hiding the face and then going out there and attacking other people where he doesn't even show his face? And there are a couple people like that, I think. More than one. Humpty Dumpty. Actually, shitty physical condition. He'll live the last years of his life here now, and talking about Fat Son and Tony Pizza and other people he's fighting with. That's the extent of his existence right now.
Man, he is sloshed.
He shows his face. Been on this show we talked about Civil War. Okay.
1 minute. Well, basically, this is a guy that has 200, a little bit over 200 viewers. And most people that go on his show to make fun of him, and he thinks he's something he's not. It's mind-boggling, and he is so in love with Jimmy Calandra. Yeah, if he's so in love with Jimmy Calandra that if anybody attacks Jimmy Calandra, no matter who they are, he will go after them, whether it's MRE, no matter what. You know, it's like he's a celebrity to them. Jimmy Calandra's like their celebrity. And, you know, this is you can't make this shit up. Jeff, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
So what do you believe, what do you think yesterday about what Mob Radio was saying about Jimmy Calandra?
Are you talking about Real Mob Radio, that guy, or this guy?
No, I'm talking about Jeff Canarsie. Jeff Canarsie went after. Yes. What did you think about what he was?
You know, I haven't always agreed with Canarsie on things, but one thing I'll give him is
I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Okay. Well, he's gone. Anyway, I'm sure he'll be back. Anyway, Jeff Canarsie hit Jimmy Calandra really hard yesterday. And anybody that watched that show, I was very surprised because when I went on and heard it on Jeff Canarsie's, on his show, which is actually a paid show, it's $7 a month and it's very much worth it because he puts on a lot of stuff there that other people don't put on. But basically he turned on Jimmy Calandra because Jimmy Calandra was mocking John Gotti, saying that John Gotti wasn't a tough guy. I mean, you lose all credibility when you say that someone's not a tough guy. And then on top of that, Jeff Canarsie went after the fanboys who have pictures of John Gotti above their head, but they are friends with Jimmy Calandra, who is attacking John Gotti. None of it makes sense, people. I mean, you can't have it two ways. You can't be like fans of Jimmy Calandra and John Gotti. It just doesn't work. You have to make a choice. Are you a John Gotti? Are you a Jimmy Calandra fan? I mean, Jimmy Calandra said some really rotten things about John Gotti. To say that he's not a tough guy, I mean, how dare you say he's not a tough guy? Dude, he was the head of the Gambinos. He was, you know, John Gotti made lots of mistakes, but the fact of the matter is John Gotti went to prison, died in prison, and never ratted on nobody. So if you rat, what gives you right to judge John Gotti? That's like almost a joke. You can't even make this shit up to say John Gotti's not a tough guy. Do you guys think that he would say that to John Gotti's face? And then on top of that, you mock John Gotti, but you were in prison. You were in the cell with Gene Gotti, and you took care of Gene Gotti. When Gene Gotti told you to go put his chair out, you went and put his chair out. So how can you talk about John Gotti when you were his brother's servant? You were literally his servant in prison. And basically what it comes down to is Jimmy's upset at Angel Gotti and the Gottis, so he decided to go after John Gotti. And then, what's all that clicking going on, John? That clicking noise.
Is it still going on now?
No, it just stopped.
I got a couple calls in a row on here, but
okay.
You know, with the Gene Gotti thing, I have friends who also served in McKean. I have black friends and Hispanic friends that were there, and I would tend to say that slapping Gene Gotti would have been a really dumb move because from what I heard, all of the H that was going into McKean was going through Gene, and he had the Mexican Mafia backing him up to enforce the debts, and the black guys in there were moving it for him, selling it. So if Calandra did, that would have been extremely dumb, and I would think Calandra would be smart enough not to, you know, but who knows? I've heard my guys don't think that it was that he really slapped them, that he would have been completely, you know, doing those doing massages and stuff like that for him because he's a high level guy. Gene Gotti wasn't, Gene Gotti wasn't somebody to be pushed around in there. So,
and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen tonight. Anytime I say something about Jimmy Calandra, his fanboys come after me. So what you're going to see tonight is you're going to see fanboy attacks. But I'm going to challenge these fanboys.
Callie G's just texted me. He said, go ahead and drop the link in the chat for him.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess he was trying to get on a different way or whatever. But yeah, the Canarsie is typically pretty thorough with his work. I haven't always agreed with him and seen eye to eye with him. So I'd like.
Okay, 1 second.
The paperwork.
Okay, the link is in there. Just so the link is in there if you need to do that. Hey, U.S. Combat Medic, I'd like to talk to you if you want to jump in here, because I like to ask you about the insults that you give me when you're on FBS's show. Some pretty bad stuff, dude. And I've always been pretty good with you. So I'm kind of confused. But this is the thing. When people are in these chat rooms, they go from chat room to chat room to just certain people, and they'll come in and they'll be your fans and talk to you and stuff. And then when they go in someone else's chat room, they'll talk wicked shit about you. So, and it's not cool, really. Not that I'm super sensitive, but when I see people saying horrible shit, I'm talking about horrible shit about me. It's not cool.
Yeah, that guy, and there's a few others that do that two-faced stuff, and then they slander. I've seen them. They do it with me, a few of them. Keep in mind, Lee, every single one of these wannabe trolls out there have no life. They are craving attention. Most of them are middle-aged men that are losers. They live with their moms. They don't have a real life. And so when they're online, they get to create a fictitious existence. They brag about, women they don't date, like Mr. Lush does, which is really pathetic. A guy in his age group talking about all the women he gets when he comes off as a complete rainbow guy. And,
hey, I'm gonna
they do
put this right now.
And me, because they have these issues. Then you'll see them. They slander me. They misrepresent things. They on my last DUI. There was a $100 to $200 emergency room visit from one person when I sideswiped a pole. And I was actually using medicines that were lawfully and legally prescribed. Yet they go in there saying that I'd been drinking in the morning time, which is when this happened, and that, I damn near killed somebody.
Hey, Jeff, I got to cut you off for a minute.
Go ahead.
Because I'm glad to have this gentleman in here.
Oh, Nicosia, good guy. Go ahead.
Yeah, hello, everyone. How you guys doing?
Well, I watch your stuff all the time. Whether I agree with it or not, it's really good. And
likewise, Lee.
A lot of stuff with Raymundi.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I want to say. I haven't been on live. This is the first. I'm sorry if the connection's not too good. I got to use my VPN out here. But Lee, thank you for having the Guardians of the Green Beret guest on. I want to tell everybody here, I haven't thanked Lee personally, but what that guest said was 100% the truth, and some stuff on my channel helped verify that. And even to everybody staying on Monday, I just want to appreciate that it's Thanksgiving time and to give thanks for something like that from the bottom of my heart. I am sincere. I don't agree with anything Lee says or anybody, but I do appreciate that. I just want to come on here and say that.
You don't agree with anything I say?
Damn, Lee.
Not everything.
You're not co-signing everything, right?
Yeah, everybody has their days, right? Everybody has their days. So
what do you think?
Does any...
Okay, let me ask you this question. What do you think about Jeff Canarsie attacking Jimmy Calandra pretty hard?
I'm going to stay out of it. I haven't heard it. Jeff Canarsie there's stuff on Jeff Canarsie, but I don't have an opinion.
There's stuff on everybody.
I'm here targeting Raymundi's on my focus because I claim to be a veteran, so that's really my target over here. Both people, Calandra and Jimmy Canarsie, both have their issues.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, my man, and thank you for coming on.
Ray Rambo, get Ray Rambo.
Callie G, how you doing?
Nicosia.
Hey, how you doing, Lee? You guys hear me?
Yeah, I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys can hear me, but you guys are coming in clear. But I'm gonna head out of here. Thank you guys for having me. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.
You take care.
Thanks.
Okay.
Oh, can you hear me, Lee?
Yes, I can. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
How's everybody doing today? Happy Thanksgiving to you guys.
We appreciate it. Same with you and your family.
Yeah, it's I've been battling a leg injury. I thought I had a torn quad. It turns out I have a broken bone, a non-weight bearing bone in my leg. So yeah, after 2 weeks of pain, I figured it couldn't be muscle. So yeah, it is what it is.
Well, Callie G, as everybody knows, Callie G and I used to not get along, and we actually formed a relationship over the last month and a half, 2 months. Once we got to know each other, we talked on the phone, and it's amazing though when you start talking to people, you think you know them because of all the nasty things the trolls say, and a lot of these things aren't true. Don't get me wrong; some of the things people say about me are. But the really bad stuff, like I like kids and stuff, nah, that's not true.
Yeah, that's just creepy. That was what got me on your show originally was when Stacks, or I'm sorry for even saying his name, when that creep
No-Rack.
tried to
Call him
associate.
No-Rack.
Yeah, when No Rax did that bugged me a lot. And then the main thing is when you got doxxed, I couldn't be angry with you anymore. And really, I was just having fun with you at first, and I misunderstood you. The same with JC. It turns out that I was wrong about 3 people. I was wrong about you, JC, and FB, whatever you want to call him. I thought one guy was a nice guy, and I thought these 2 guys up here were not so nice guys. And it turns out these 2 guys up here are highly educated. They know what they're talking about. And the other guy, look at all the groups that have formed against him. He's got pages upon pages. So I was one of the first to speak out against him months ago, and people would send me messages like, weren't you his friend? Didn't you invite him out to California and all this stuff? And my answer was this: hey, haven't you ever met somebody that you thought they were good people and you find out they were garbage pails? That was the case. I was wrong with him. And I was wrong with you 2 guys. But now I'm feeling pretty good because all the people that I dislike, there's groups against those people. So
And I like
it is what it is.
Callie, I'd like to ask you a question. What do you believe about Jeff Canarsie, what he said about Jimmy Calandra and about fanboys that like him, despite the fact that he's talking about the guy that they are fanboy of?
I agree with it. I'm glad Jeff finally spoke up because certain guys that ran shows on the East Coast thought he was their friend. But Jeff, he's the OG in this game, and he knows what's going on. And when he says something, just like when you say something, or when MRE says something, or when JC says something, it means something, right? You guys aren't trying to sell a product. You guys aren't begging for cash apps 3 times a day. Nobody on YouTube does that. That's another thing that bugs me. Why are these guys doing this with the cash apps?
Well, Stacks,
every day.
Stacks runs.
I don't understand it.
Stacks runs it where there's a stream underneath it, continuously running with his cash app on it. I always wondered the same thing. Listen, I have nothing against cash app. I have nothing against cash apps.
Toys for kids.
1 minute, Jeff. 1 minute. I have nothing against cash apps, and I believe that people, if they want to give their money, have the right to give their money. But don't call people names. Like, I used to be accused of wanting money in cash apps and stuff. I've never had a cash app.
Yeah.
Never. And I very easily could put one up, and I can very easily make money. I literally seen Tony in a car the other night collect $600 in 30 minutes.
Yeah, do you blame him for not getting a job? Jesus, that's these people are enabling him. But I'm from California. We invented the word calling someone a player hater. That's from us, and I can't hate on Tony for it. Nope. But at the same time, I won't give him any money, and I'm not going to get angry at people that give him money. Go ahead and do your thing, Tony. But I'm just saying it's not going to last. So save some money because people aren't going to do that forever.
And Tony's entertaining as hell, whether you like him or not. The guy,
yes, he is.
He is, and and FBS. Look at what FBS is literally having a breakdown on his show.
He ruined his life because that was the thing. You know, FBS even said, he says, what broke me and FBS apart as buddies is I told him, watch out for Tony Pizza. He's going to be a problem. And FBS said, you know what, Cali G's? You don't know shit. You're not from the streets. This guy ain't nothing. Well, guess what, motherfucker? Sorry about that. What's up now? He's on your mind every day. You look like you've aged 10 years, and you're making a show about him every day. So what I said was true about that, and what I said about the Second Amendment was true. You wouldn't have to be calling the cops if you had a gun on you. True or false?
That's true. Sean, how you doing?
Hi, Lee. Happy Thanksgiving. Hi, JC.
Likewise. I
Hey,
haven't
what's
seen
up,
you in a
buddy?
couple weeks.
Happy
I
Thanksgiving.
haven't done a live in a while.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, I'm glad that you showed up today.
Yeah, I'm going to be working tomorrow, so we're going to cook our turkey today.
Oh, how are you going to cook it? In the oven or are you going to deep
In the
fry
oven.
it?
In the
Yeah.
oven.
Does anybody here deep fry their turkey?
I did it one time, and it didn't come out so good.
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to try it, but I never did. So
You got to make sure the turkey's not frozen, and you got to use peanut oil, or else you'll set your house on fire.
my sister, I haven't seen my sister in 20 years, and she was RVing across the country with her husband, and she's been here now for a week, and she's coming over for Thanksgiving tomorrow. And it's like we didn't miss a beat. I literally didn't see her for 20 years, but this is the sister I'm closest with because we grew up in the same age period.
That's what true friendship and true love is like. That's how it is with my siblings.
Yeah, and it's like I have family I love. I come from a big family, and I have family we don't get along. But my sister Joan and I, we've always gotten along, and I love her very much.
That's good to hear, Lee.
So what are you doing for Sean? What are you doing for Thanksgiving? Are you gonna eat a turkey today?
Yeah, we're going to cook it today. Me and my girlfriend, we're going to put on a spread today. We're going to go to town in about maybe a half hour and get some more stuff for the dinner. And then tomorrow I'm going to be working all day. So we're about to serve about 300 people tomorrow. All the reservations are booked up.
Oh. And
God bless you, man. That's good, Sean.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jeff,
God's great.
And Jeff, what are you doing?
God is great, indeed.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving, Jeff?
I bought a gender neutral turkey, and we're gonna fry that. We're gonna cook that sucker up
in organic oil, so you don't offend anyone.
Yeah,
organic
exactly.
oil, right?
I think
So-
it's illegal in most parts of California now to have a female turkey anyway, or a male turkey, really. But
Yeah, something.
I've got.
When they start,
I'm
hey
gonna
guys,
meet up with my daughter and some other folks in my area here. So
What are you guys
I don't
gonna-
have much family left. Most of my family is dead or long gone. So it's my daughter and I, and I've got friends here. We're gonna go meet up with them and have a nice turkey dinner.
okay. So what are you gonna do? You guys were some weed guys, Callie and Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
So let me ask you, what are you gonna do?
We're
What are
some
you-
weed guys. Shit.
Let me finish. Let me finish, Jeff. What are you guys gonna do when they general neutralize and you can't use female marijuana plants no more?
Right.
Okay, Jeff, you want me to answer first, or are you going to go, Jeff?
You go ahead. You got this, buddy.
All right. Well, I have been stockpiling seeds from really good genetic stock for the last 5 years. I have feminized seeds, all from reputable companies from Amsterdam, Northern California, and Humboldt County. So I have that taken care of. I'm not going to worry about it. Each one of those seeds can provide 50,000 plants, and I'm not growing like that, but for growing my own personal stuff for the rest of my life, I'm not going to have any problems with any of that.
So you got Sean, do you smoke weed?
Only at nighttime. I get panic attacks real bad.
Only at nighttime though, but at least you got some nights.
I smoke
Yeah,
that shit all day.
Yeah, I don't have the lungs like I used to when I was in high school. So, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I started smoking weed when I was 14 and I stopped when I was 50.
There you go, Lee. I started when I was 12 and I'm 44. I'm catching up.
One day I just woke up and I said, I'm too much of a pothead. I'm going to stop this. And I stopped smoking weed.
All right.
And
It does happen.
sometimes I miss it. I'll be totally honest with you.
If you come out to California and visit me and Jeff, you're going to leave with dreadlocks.
Dude, the weed they have, the shit they sell now is nothing like.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I used to go into the Bronx. They had this place called the Hole in the Wall. I'd go into this really rough neighborhood in the Bronx.
Bodega.
Yeah, and we'd go to the Hole in the Wall. We'd put a $5 bill in it and get it, and we'd say to them whether we want skunk weed or regular weed, and they would give us our weed back to it. But now the shit that they have now is so potent.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's ridiculous. The stuff we get ordered to our door comes pre-packaged and tested, and the THC is over 30%. In the 70s, 10% was considered high. So, it's really potent now.
Hey, when you opened up a bag of weed in the 70s and 80s, you never knew what you were getting. It was like a big surprise.
Lee, my old lady's yelling at me to go to the store, but from my heart, I'm glad Diane's out of the hospital.
Yeah,
that's true. God bless.
She's in rehab right now.
Okay.
And her body has to teach itself to breathe all over again because she was on the highest level of oxygen. About 10 times they actually were thinking about putting her on a ventilator, and she would fight with them and tell them no.
Wow.
And they literally had her on the table a couple times where they were getting ready to do it.
Wow.
And she fought it, and on the only 20% survival rate when she went in. And on the floor of the hospital she was at, everybody on the floor passed away but her.
Wow.
God bless her. I'm so happy that she made it, man. Jeez.
COVID ain't no shit, man.
I had COVID. I had it. Yeah, I know.
And if you have underlying illnesses, she had diabetes.
Wow.
If you have underlying illnesses, that's when it attacks you. So I got it, and I was sick for 3 days.
Right.
And people say, "Oh, I'm 60 years old and I'm fat." I had no trouble handling it.
Well, that's because it's about the viral load. My wife's a nurse, so say you're in a truck with some guy who has COVID and he sneezes in the truck with you.
I'm sorry,
that's
Sean,
a big viral load.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off. She's yelling at me, but I'm gonna come on next time you do a live. But
okay.
Happy Thanksgiving, Lee, and God bless. And for my prayers, I'm glad Diane is great.
You take care of him, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Okay, Callie G. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got the green screen behind him.
Damn straight. Got the green screen
And he
behind
has the
it.
and he has the sunglasses on.
That's right.
So he's,
Yeah, you bet.
Hey, you guys hear? Callie, did you hear that in Mendocino, Humboldt, there's a scandal brewing? For years, those cops up there used to rob us. They would steal our weapons.
Oh, yeah.
They would.
Yeah, they put people in holes up there. They put people in holes up there.
A bunch of those cops, one of the corrupt cops robbed an undercover ATF agent up there by mistake.
That's awesome. This is the time of year where it happens too.
Yeah.
Lee, you have no idea. People go up there. I've had friends never come back. I don't go up there. I haven't been up there for 10 years because 10 years ago I was scared to go. It was frightening. I won't go there.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe when I studied.
Rural cops up there are just as bad as these corrupt inner city cops any day of the week. And the difference is there's not cameras around. Unlike this city, they rarely get caught. And
there's no phone reception out there, man. People don't understand that. It's scary.
Hey, Callie, did you see the show? Did you see the show that we did on?
Yeah, I did, and I saw that show. That show gave me the chills because, in the 90s, if you got pot in California, there was only two ways to get it. It was to go up north and get the outdoor harvest up there in the Emerald Triangle, or it was to get the Mexican pressed stuff from Southern California. So we'd have to go up there every year, and we'd go up there and we'd make one run and bring as much down as we can and then do what we had to do. But going up there, didn't get scary until you got on these private properties that have these gates and roads that lead down. It was, I will never do it again. And it was frightening. And a lot of people never came back, Lee.
Well, they got serial killers running around up there all over the place.
A lot of them. Yes, sir. Yes, they do.
It's like heaven to the serial killer. If Ted Bundy knew about this, he would have been up there and never been caught. I mean,
there's probably 10 or 20 serial killers that live up there. You never know.
These, I was talking to this one girl who her sister disappeared, and I wanted her to come on a show, but right now the detectives are looking into it, so she has to get permission from them before she could do the show. And
absolutely, yeah.
But
I'm scared to talk about stuff here. There's certain stuff and names I can never mention here to this day. You just can't do it if you live out here.
I'm going to take some questions from you guys. Have any questions for these guys? So let's start off with Anthony. He always has something good to say. JC isn't bad, but his biggest problem is he thinks he's smarter than he really is. We all know that about JC. You're not telling us nothing.
You know what, though? This guy doesn't like it because I challenge every single one of these clowns to debate me. Every one of them that doubt me, I challenge them.
JC, in JC's defense, JC has been hammering a lot of these guys in the chat rooms, and they're getting butthurt. So,
and then one at a time, they've tried to extort me. They say, "Hey, stop your show, or we're going to disclose you got a DUI." And I'm like, I already speak at DUI schools, or stop it, or we're going to disclose you did this or that. Basically, those are extortion attempts, really. Yeah. But I look
redacted.
I have all of that mapped out. None of these trolls and none of these haters are going to beat me. They can't beat my methods. When I tell them how I did my drug crimes, it's stuff that's not even on Google.
Let me read this real quick, Jeff.
It's not there. It's
Jeff.
legit.
Let me read this, Jeff. Redacted gave me $15. I'm sorry, it popped out of here. Redacted. I'm trying to find it. I don't want you to think I'm avoiding you. Damn, it just disappeared. Maybe he took it back.
Hey, and redacted. Debate about what? These guys try to say that I didn't do this or I did.
Yeah. Well, hey, Jeff, you know what, though? That's what they do. All these people, when they hear us on the West Coast, a lot of these guys that are into the so-called mafia genre, they don't believe anything. They think unless you Google it, it didn't happen. I just let it go because I know where I've been. And I know that the internet always reveals who people are. So if something was bad about anybody, it's going to come out. So I just let people say what they want.
In the chat right now, he tries too hard. You see this guy in the chat? He tries too hard in everybody's chat room to try to prove this or that. He needs to stop trying too hard.
Okay, I'm going to say one thing.
Most of them are the same one troll that doesn't like me.
Okay, Jeff, give me 1 minute. Jeff, give me 1 minute. U.S. Army combat medic. I put up the link for you to come in here and tell me how bad I am. But now you're here arguing and shit. Dude, when you first came here, you started off on my show. And now
what's up with that guy? He got his wrench taken by FBS and he's been crying ever since.
And it's like, dude, you come in here as a military man and stuff, and and you side up with FBS, and dude, you have no.
And Stacks, he sides up with Stacks and FBS, and they're over there. They got Ramundi on their lap. How does he even explain that?
It's horrible. Here's the thing: how the fuck can you be friends with Stacks?
That's what I mean.
And pretend you're going after Ramundi. I mean, you can't.
Yeah, with your Army medic hat on the whole time. I know. Yeah. Hey, God bless him for his service and everything, but I have nothing else to say about him. He knows his history. I've heard him on MRE, and thank you for your service. But all the other shit he does is bullshit.
Jimmy, Queen Calandra, you better leave my name out of your mouth. Okay.
What's he gonna do? That big fat bag of milk? Jimmy ain't hurting nobody.
Yeah, you know something, Jimmy. You did this to yourself. And for people that said that I wasn't going to do the drama, I never said I wasn't going to do the drama with Jimmy Calandra. I'm not going to. Jimmy Calandra doesn't have. Jimmy Calandra is what he is. You know what I mean? I mean, this is a guy that told my brother to burn in hell. So, you know, if you think I'm going to lay off Jimmy Calandra, sorry, people.
I stopped taking Jimmy serious when he started attacking you and he started bragging about storing a pound of weed in the refrigerator. Once I heard that, I was like, wow, a pound of weed in the refrigerator.
I remember when I used to take my freezer and have it filled up with
Blasphemy.
bags from the bottom to the top, and I wasn't even a big dealer. You know?
Yeah. I know. No, but it's funny because he's supposed to be this big time dope dealer, but he's a small time guy. I'm telling you right now, if Jimmy was in California, I'm not bragging or anything, but guys like me and JC, we wouldn't even be able to know him. He would be a high risk person. We can only associate with the growers. We couldn't associate with someone as low level as him, someone that robs drug dealers and it brags about robbing banks with fishing poles. I could never deal with a criminal like that, ever. That's why I'm not in prison.
What do you think about what do you think about what Calandra said about John Gotti?
I think it's a cop out. He's just he's doing that just at work to separate FBS from Angel. He did it on purpose. He wants to break down FBS's channel because he sees FBS's channel is growing. And I feel like Jimmy's sabotaging it because he's a rotten kind of person like that. That's why he goes on the show and explodes, but Jimmy won't do that on his own show. He'll go sabotage someone else's. And it's one of the reasons why certain people can't crack 4,000 subs.
You know,
I think it's my opinion.
You know, and that's the thing, man. You know, it's like a race with turtles and hares. You can jump right ahead, but the people behind are going to pass you.
Jimmy's got his hand so far up FBS's ass that FBS doesn't even realize it because he wants to do the fanboy thing and be closer to the Mafia. So he's willing to sell everyone out in order to be close to Jimmy, and everybody can see it now, you know?
Hey, real quick, Grant Calder is in there. Salute to you, Grant Calder. He's the guy who said I look like Tom Green. That cracked me up.
I thought you were about to say
I could try out for the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Hey, who am I imitating? Hey guys, let me see.
I like them.
Who am I imitating?
Joe Pesci.
Madhu. That's the wig. You got to make sure the glue is right for Jeff's wig. Jeff said some things about me, but whatever.
He was going like this last night. I'm saying to myself, dude, you are so self-conscious.
He is. He's looking in the mirror the whole show, yeah.
And he's like this. It's like, stop tapping the wig. Stop tapping the wig.
He wants to make sure the glue and the sweat don't combine, you know? And it slip right off the top of his head, right? If it's not a wig, it's the worst freaking hairstyle I've ever seen.
You know what's funny, though? He'll say stuff about people, but he doesn't realize how silly he looks when he's doing the tap on the head.
Yeah. And he wears his, he's looking upward. He's looking upward too when he does it, like he's looking up at someone.
Yeah, it's like, and it's like you are who you are, man. You're not a bad looking guy, dude. Stop the tap.
Yeah.
Stop the tap.
Yeah.
You know. Grant says, I seen him beg for his wrench back. It gave me a horrible feeling in my stomach seeing that a grown-ass man as well.
I couldn't believe that. Did you see that in the chat?
Wrenches?
FBS took everybody's wrench except for Pole Smoke and a couple other guys. And Army Medic, I didn't think he'd take it from him. He took his wrench.
And he would never take Carlos's wrench, though.
But wait a minute. I thought FBS respects the military. Wow, what a nice guy.
Well,
what a nice guy.
I thought you hang up button on when you go in. What happened to that rule? I don't know what you're talking about there, DP. Grant Calder, yes, it's quite amazing, kid. My deepest condolences to him. Hey, what do you guys think about Sonny Money getting beat up?
That's messed up. I feel bad for him.
What do you think about the tough guy keep putting his picture up and laughing about it the other day?
Jimmy and FBS and no X. Well, they can't fight. Well, none of them can fight. None of them can fight, so they wanted to claim it.
Stacks kept putting it up and laughing. And I'm like, dude, we seen you on a video fight.
Yeah.
Why are you making fun of this
When
guy?
I think of Stacks, I think of that video, and I think of macaroni and cheese with hot dogs. Whenever I think
You
of
know what?
Stacks.
Hey, Norax did a video a while back where he was cooking, and he says, Chef Boyar Stacks. That lets you know how low who when they're cooking or barbecuing compares themselves to Chef Boyardee. That's
Uh-oh.
and look, if I was around Stacks, my big arm would be around his throat, and I would shut his mouth for him. And did you see that woke idiot that went on Stack's show the other day?
Oh my God!
Everybody.
Yeah.
That guy, I'm not going to say his name or anything, but I will say one thing. He did a challenge. He said, come out to the Bronx and the hood or whatever and say that. I'll tell you what, tough guy with the Groucho Marx mustache and the hook nose. You come out to California. Come to Florencia and Firestone. And
but you know
the
what?
Mexicans who now have the power there that they are systematically racist themselves, because the black arrest rate is the exact same when Mexicans have control of a city or whites, and that lets you know what it is. So come out west. You say your woke stuff in an area, and you tell my Hispanic friends that they are also systematically R words, because you seem to believe that happens. We'll see how tough you are. But of course, he's not. And Stacks just let him ramble.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me mention one thing. When FBS was taking people's wrenches apart, everybody always knew what was going on. These guys, when you try to go in his chat room, Carlos and stuff, if you say the littlest thing,
forget it.
They will erase you.
Yeah. Tony's getting like that too. Tony and FBS, both of them. If you say anything.
And I try not to do that. The only time I'll throw someone out of here is if they're really abusive. Like,
hey, just 1 second. I got to get the door real fast. I'll be right back.
Sure. Okay, let me see.
Someone's at the door?
All right.
This is entertainment, you dumb motherfucker. Okay. Grant says, JC, good video on
food. Get it.
You lost me with the rat thing. That was cringe.
Well, my policy on rats, it may be different than yours, and I respect that. But my policy at this point is tax them. If Gene Borello, for instance, I'm going to be reading his book on the show, but he is paying a rat tax, and I'm going to be taking the money and giving it to the people he snitched on, and I'm going to do that with others too, so that when these guys are behind bars, at the very least, they can get a lot of top ramen and a lot of pork grinds and the other things they consider delicatessen. But
rat tax. That's the rat tax.
But I understand Brett.
Something, guys.
Want a platformed at all.
You know something, guys, that made me laugh. For the 2 weeks that I wasn't doing a show, there was an awful lot of fighting going on. And I don't know if you guys remember, I used to be accused of causing all the fights. And
yeah, isn't that funny? Lee the drama maker, right?
Yeah.
I love that you had like like 10 shows in a row that had nothing to do with these clowns, and it got worse without you.
I mean, they're having breakdowns now. They're really having breakdowns.
Do you understand? Look, okay, as a part-time troll, I got to tell you, watching certain guys have breakdowns and sweating, it's very happy. It's a happy day for me. It's satisfying. I cannot tell you, like, my son is 18 and he's starting to get into it. So the thing with my son is he loves the Ramundis. We talk about the Ramundis, the war of the Ramundis, how, like, in a comment section, we got to talk about Ramundi. He's a legend, guys. Even though we know it's not him, the guy who runs those profiles is pretty funny.
So I'm talking about Stacks the other day when I was watching the show with Ramundi. Stacks stated on that show that Hootie was nothing without him, and he even said that he was the reason that Hootie got the gig from Vlad TV.
Nonsense.
Okay, JC, here you go.
Nonsense. that is almost the exact opposite. The first 1,800 subs that were on Hootie's and Stack's show, which is what the original name of the channel was, were from him. And if you look at Hootie's channel now. His channel is fairly new, and he has almost the exact same number of subscribers that Stax has now. Stax has had the help of Jimmy Calandra, me, Hootie, John Panisi, also Angel Gotti for the time being, and he still is barely above 3,000. And he also had an interview on 23-1, which is a big channel, and a few others. Again, he has sucked at parlaying those interviews into views, and if you look at his original channel that he has to this day, it's 10 years old. It's him as a failed wannabe rapper, and then he tried to interview Ori Spotto and a couple of other mob figures who did him a favor. It has like 200 subs at the most in 10 years, and there's still videos out there. He tried to delete them all, but he didn't get them all, where he's given Hootie shout outs. Now, all that Stax should be doing, No Rack should do, is just apologize for helping out Hootie's ex against Hootie, which is a lowball non-LCN move. And then you say thank you, No Racks. Say thank you to Hootie for building your channel like he did. You wouldn't be where you are without him. And those 1,800
Hallelujah.
are parlayed.
There it is.
Based on the YouTube algorithm. If he had to start from scratch, if that channel had been deleted after he and Hootie broke up their show, No Racks would be at maybe 200 subs, just like his other channel.
And listen, if you put tattoos on your face, you have no right saying shit to anybody.
I agree 100%, Lee. I agree 100%. Tattoo, neck tattoos. Come on, guys.
Yeah. DN says, Lee, greetings from Amsterdam. Keep up the good work. You, MRE, K Shades, Unk are the most realist to me, and also the crazy pizza guy. Hey, listen, guys.
There you go.
Kane Shade Unk got to over 1,000 yesterday, and let me tell you what kind of person Kane Shade is. He had a channel with 1,000 people, but one of his friends got shut down. So Kane Shade gave his show to that guy that got shut down. That guy thanked
that.
him.
Kane Shade is one of the most solid people I've ever met on the internet. He is a good guy, and if anyone says anything bad about him, I just don't listen, and it's few and far between because he's a good guy.
And
he is stuck to his guns on his rap policy and other stuff. To him as well. I don't watch the show, but you got to give a guy credit.
He's a real one, though.
Who has a policy, and he didn't break it, even if it would have got him a lot more views and subs. And Callie, there's a couple of these trolls in here are who. It's funny. I'm starting to see.
Yeah, I don't care. It doesn't matter. See, the trolls. There's troll pages about me now. I'm just a comment. I don't even have a running channel. So when people troll me, it just shows that what I'm doing is crushing their soul. That I'm in their head. They're thinking about me. I don't think about any of these clowns. I go hang out with my kids. I go lift weights. I go to the gym. I hang out. I have a great life. I go fishing 2 miles from my house. The shooting range is 3 blocks away. These guys don't have life. They sit in their computer all day. So when they do that, I laugh at it. I think it's funny. I never even get mad. It doesn't it's funny.
Well, they all fit the same demographic. They were nobody in high school and beyond. They failed.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Guys, I'm gonna read some of these people. Combat Medic, this person says, Combat Medic, I appreciate your service, but not the FBS loyalty. You'll figure it out soon enough.
Exactly.
RPM's Lee, you're about to get mad at Nicosia for being real. No, I'm not mad at him, and I like him. I'll still watch his shit. So not mad at all. We're not going to agree with a lot of people. Like, I don't agree with a lot of stuff Gunner does, but I enjoy watching his show because he doesn't go on his show ripping the shit out of people.
No, he's actually pretty classy, and that is what tells me that he is a real street guy. Real street guys, sometimes they exaggerate, but for the most part, when you hear Gunner talk, you can tell the kind of person he is. He's excitable, but he's from the streets, and I respect Gunner. Sometimes he says things I don't agree with, but not everybody gets a trophy. Not everybody can agree with each other. Just because someone says something wrong doesn't mean you dislike them. So I like Gunner.
And I kind of agree with this guy. As a vet, I could tell you, we shake our heads at people who use screen names that pander to their service.
My brother feels the same way, Lee.
Jimmy the Helmet was a nobody. Jeff was right. He tells 5 different stories, 100 different ways.
No, nobody's going to want to make a movie, Jimmy, about your life. You're too stupid. You already told your story 10 different times and changed the story multiple times. Every time Jimmy tells a story, it's always about Paulie G and stealing candy bars and stupid crimes that, it gets, oh, don't get me started. Me and Paulie G went out on the street and stole a candy bar. I mean, guys, Jimmy, you know what we would do with Jimmy? Jimmy would go to the store and get us alcohol while we actually made money. Jimmy was the dunce, okay? If you don't see it, you don't know it.
Okay, it says, okay, whatever side you're on, these Mob 2 beefs, I think we can all agree that JC is cringe. I'm sorry, JC, I didn't see that. Jimmy,
Look. I don't really care.
No, I think he's talking about Jimmy Calandra.
The reality is that 95% of the people that see me in interviews and elsewhere are not just enthused, they're very enthused. Then you got a 5% that are just
that's one thing I love about JC. The reason I consider JC a friend and on here because we talk all the time. He's a good guy and stuff. You just got to get to know people.
F22. You know what? I'm not apologizing to fucking Tony Pizza at all. That scumbag has ran his mouth about me for the last month. If his homeless ass even came within 5 feet of my place, I will clip him, and I'll do it fucking brutally too. Fuck that scumbag.
Okay.
Yep, that's true. That's exactly why you don't. That's why you don't call the cops, man. If you can handle your business, you don't have to be like certain people and call the cops.
Packed with weapons.
Yeah.
Completely legal too. I got an ex-military vet.
I don't own that many weapons, but I own enough.
Shit, we would
JC's not playing, man.
I would tie him up and then really handle him. He better shut his fucking mouth and stop whining to higher ups about me either.
You know what you do?
That's a rat move.
You know what you do? You tie him up and have Jimmy give him a back rub.
Oh, God. Get Mikey Stars in there. You got to get some Donna Summer on the radio.
Did you see FBS simp Albert go at me in the comments of the MTR video that is strength? Yes, Grant Calder. I know Grant Calder.
If I get one more call from a certain higher up and saying that Tony Pizza complained to him, I might just pay for that sucker's gas to come out to California.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, JC, too. Yeah. I know who you're talking about, JC. Yeah, that's bullshit.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question. Won't you agree, though, that Tony is entertaining?
Yeah, I agree.
You know what? If he could control himself, he would be all right. But he can't.
100%. As long as he can just aim himself to the East Coast and just to certain people and not to the people that enjoy his entertainment. I like watching his show, but,
He had me laughing because he said that I invited him out to my house and that I'm John Wayne Gacy and I probably have those balls that you put in people's mouths. And
hey, he's good at insults, though. He's good at naming people. He's good at insults. He's really got a quick wit, which is why I like him. He makes up names quick. So he is funny like that, but I separated myself after the 9/11 comments because that was just BS. I can't do it.
By the way, his excuse was lousy. He claimed he was fresh out of prison.
I don't care what day it was, JC. It don't matter.
Guys that were locked up on 9/11, and they were tearing up.
Well, you know what's funny, though?
Poor gangsters were sad over that.
But you know what's funny, guys?
To blame it on his prison
I understand what you're saying.
Fuck him.
But you want to know what's funny, though? He was on with FBS. He had 200 people. FBS had 170.
Yeah, well, people love the drama, but, how long can you sustain the drama for your health, like as a host of one of these channels? Yeah, you can get the views and get all those numbers, but what's the toll going to take,
You know what's funny you said that? I love sports, and I found myself not watching football on Sundays and UFCs on Saturday nights. So what I promised myself is that I was going to start watching football and UFC and get away.
We
from
like the same stuff, Lee. That's what I've been doing. I'm a huge MMA and football fan. I've been immersed in it. That's why you haven't heard from me.
And that's why I stopped doing the lives for a while, because I was taken away from what I love to do this. And
yeah,
so
it sucks away your life. Yeah.
I'll do a couple lives. I don't care if I have 300 people or 110. The fact of
Lee,
the matter, you know,
you're at your best when you do shows like this, when you do a live show once every week or two. That, to me, that because when you drop your shows, those shows are really interesting and people love those shows.
And I love doing those videos and dropping them. You know, they're not going to get me as many views, but I love doing them. You know,
yeah, no, they are.
If you read Mark said about FBS, his perfect summary is Johnny Mac from Pizza Army, as well as, what do you think about this battle he has going on with iLight all of a sudden?
Go ahead, JC, answer that. What do you think?
Yeah, FBS and iLight, you said?
Yeah.
I don't really know iLight that well. You know, I saw he has these Illuminati videos, so that at least lets me know that he does understand there's big things in the world, and, you know, God only knows where it goes from there. So for him, I just don't know what the beef, why are they beefing?
Well, here's the beef. The beef is FBS, whenever a real street guy calls him out, just like iLight, he's a real street guy. When a real person like me, you, or now iLight, with a real Brooklyn accent, calls out Fatball Sicilian with an Italian flag behind him and dark skin, because he's half Puerto Rican, so am I. It bothered Fatball Sicilian, but the thing that bothered him most is iLight has over 6,000 subs. So that bothers Fatball Sicilian the most, because he used to say, new rule, if you don't have as many subs as me, you can't talk about my show, which you know is just pure bullshit. Here's
the thing with these subs, and this is where I'm gonna back FBS up. And you'll have guys that have more subs than FBS and me, twice as many, 3 times as many. But when they do lives, they only get when they do shows, they only get 400 views for their videos.
Yeah.
You know, so are those numbers actually real? Because I'll consistently always get over 1,000 to 2,000 on my videos. FBS will get 2,000 to 3,000 lately on his videos. So it's obvious that my numbers are real. It's obvious that FBS's numbers are real.
But in FBS's mind, though, when he sees that 6,000 subscribers, even if what you're saying, and it is true what you're saying, it is what you're saying is true, it bothers him. He doesn't like that guy, iLight. He doesn't like him because he can't discredit him. So he doesn't, and he's smart. iLight is smart. He's slow and deliberate when he talks, but he's intelligent, and that scares people.
Don't you think FBS is pretty smart?
No, I don't. I think FBS, honestly, I got kids, man, and I have teenagers smarter than him. He's one of those guys that it's just my opinion. He thinks he's smarter than he is. Let's be honest. He's an out-of-work forklift driver who couldn't handle driving a forklift. It was too hard for him. So my thoughts on his intelligence and who he is not very high.
You know, the FBS looks a little bit smarter than he is because he surrounds himself with idiots with no racks and guys like that. You know,
they all do that.
It's real easy to look. It's sort of like when fat people hang out with fatter people, you know, so that they look.
I'm having trouble finding people fatter than me.
There's some pizza simps.
Golly, that's good though. You're funny. Come on, baby.
Something clear to them. 9/11, dissing 9/11 victims, dissing military guys was a bridge too far for me. I was fine when he was talking smack on me and others with his little remarks because I don't give a shit. But that 9/11 stuff is a bridge too far. I watched him. It was not taken out of context. And again, jealousy? No, not at all. The guy still has
100%. Remember what he said also.
I got more stuff than him.
JC, remember what he said though? It wasn't just what he said that day. he tried to forget what he said. He
He
said
tried to
all these
lie
people
about
driving
it. He
around
tried
on
to
the
say he
road,
was spinning
all these,
stuff.
all the people that are on the road and they have PTSD on the road. He's like, screw all these people around me in traffic. They're all survivors of it. What does that mean?
He said
That's
they cheat on their
insane.
wives
Hold
and
on one second,
husbands.
guys.
That these people
Hold on
are
one
bad.
second. Hold on one second. Why does, and this is what really annoys me, Anthony Raimondi threatens to split people's face down from the top of their head to their fucking balls. And these guys bitching about Tony won't bitch about Ray Raimondi threatening them like that. So
yeah.
why?
Well, there's a lot of hypocrisy even on the 9/11 thing. Remember, FBS also dissed the cops from 9/11, along with that idiot, that Tech Pros guy, not Justice Tech Pros. That guy's good. The pyrotech, whatever he was, some New York firefighter who's now on disability, also dissed the cops. And hopefully they both get what's coming to them from karma, because they did the same thing. And of course, FBS took the video down, but he has no right to complain to Tony Pizza for what Tony Pizza said. Those of us who are not hypocrites, who have not dissed these victims, in fact, guys like me who did rallies in favor of the victims of 9/11 and did rallies for our troops in Afghanistan, we have the right to bring up the hypocrisy, not those who are hypocrites themselves.
Okay. Let me ask you another question then. You guys know I did videos on Rittenhouse. Why do you think that FBS made the statement that if Rittenhouse was black, he'd be locked up?
He made that statement because he wanted to appeal to his liberal, what he thinks is his liberal base. That's why he's always afraid to talk politics, but everyone knows what he believes in, and everyone knows also his intentions. He starts saying, like, we knew what was going to happen, this, and that. No, we didn't know what was going to happen. The media made Kyle look like a demon, and when the facts finally came out, right in the end there, it turns out that Kyle did the right thing. And the only thing he did wrong is he didn't kill the third guy. That's it. That's the only thing he didn't do wrong.
I made a video a month ago, a year ago, when this happened, and I showed everything that happened and how it was self-defense.
Yeah.
This guy Rosenblum, the first guy that got killed by
Rosenbaum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, who cares? He's a scumbag.
No, this guy,
scumbag, child molester.
Hold on one second, right. Jeff. Let me talk. Okay, so remember what this guy did. This guy brutally sodomized boys under the age of 10. There was nothing good about him. And the second guy that was killed strangled his girlfriend and took his hand off her throat and let her come back to life and strangled her again and kept doing it, and it was arrested for assault. And then the third guy that got shot was at an Antifa rally in Seattle, got on a plane, came over here, illegally had a gun that he used and took out against Rosenbaum. I'm sorry, against Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
So you're talking three very bad grown men. And then
look, the left doesn't care because they
let me finish.
Let
me finish, Jeff. Jeff, you got to let me finish.
Okay. You've been talking 20 minutes. Go ahead.
I show Jeff. So you got this guy Rittenhouse, and he shoots these guys who are absolute scumbags. And then you have people saying if he was black, but they don't talk about all the stuff going on in Chicago and all the murders happening. No one's being arrested.
Look, okay, exactly. Look, for the last 50 years. Well, hold on, Jeff. Let me say something quick, and then you roll out with this one. But this bothers me a lot because you guys know I'm a Second Amendment guy. I have a secondary job where I teach gun safety to new gun owners and such. I have a big problem with the way people demonize anybody that uses self-defense. But what was this kid supposed to do? And as far as these cities where all these gun crimes are, the same people, the same groups of people in the same cities for the last 50 years have been killing each other. Without going into detail, we can go to Atlanta, we can go to Chicago, California, New York, Detroit, Michigan, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, York, Pennsylvania. All these places have the same problem and it's the same groups of people killing each other, and nobody wants to talk about it.
Well, it's
Nobody
the same
wants to talk about it.
and
The
that's
same demographic, and I'm not going to say what, but if you open your eyes and you know what's going on, the same people been shooting the same people, and it ain't white people killing blacks, and it ain't cops killing blacks or Mexicans. The same people been killing the same people, and it ain't changed. So don't blame it on gun holders like me and people that are surrounded by this madness, you know?
And Jeff, you're a gun owner, right?
Quasi. I'm not sure if I can or not, but I might be able to because California passed a general amnesty law back for any guys convicted of what are called wobbler offenses. A wobbler offense in California can be tried as a misdemeanor or a felony. Anybody with a wobbler may have been granted a full amnesty by the state legislature. Thank you, liberals, for that. I appreciate that very much. But just to be safe, I have an ex-military guy. He lives upstairs. We've got an AK here. We got some great weaponry that's been grandfathered in that's completely legal. And we've got all the bullets you can imagine and think of. There is no ammo shortage at my place. Now, that being said, the racial comment that he made is BS. Number one, the blacks have these groups that step up to the plate and cape for them no matter how bad of a person it is that's accused. So if Kyle Rittenhouse had been black, there's a good chance he wouldn't have been tried because the NAACP,
let's not use those words.
The usual suspects would be out there protesting and rioting like they are now. And that would end up causing there to be no trial. Number two, when you look at that situation, there are plenty of situations where blacks have had ARs around the cops and not got shot. In fact, there was one just the other day. You also had a group on July 4th that marched at Stone Temple. What was it called? Stone Mountain, Georgia, where they have there was like 4,000 of them with weapons. They didn't get shot or whatever. That lets you know that these guys are making this garbage up. They would never debate me on this because back in the day, they used to try to in college. But I was the one white man.
Just all you got to do is ask them who's killing who, right? You know,
to the cartels, connected to the mob. So I was not scared of the African American fucking students union.
Okay, guys, do you hear? Okay, let me tell you what's going on in Australia right now. In Australia, the people gave their guns back, and now Australia is going out and they're arresting Aborigines who have not gotten shot, and they're putting them in concentration camps. Aborigines, they're doing this in Australia right now. They just arrested 35 Aborigines. That's racist. They're going after the Aborigine people who are on. These people live by themselves in the middle of
the natives. Those are the natives,
and they're being arrested right now. They can't defend themselves. Australia is taking all the guns away from the people, and the only people now, and I talk to people all the time that have guns are the criminals.
Yeah, you know, I tell people all the time, the government, when they say, "Oh, come on, the government doesn't want to take your guns," I go, "Okay, let's pretend you're the government or you're the president or the king or whatever. Now, you have a group of millions of people in the street marching. Would you rather them have rocks in their hands or guns?"
Well, these are the same people that say defund the police. So they want there to be no cops. Then they also want there to be no self-defense rights in general, where you get tried if you even try it. They want you to have no guns. And at that point, that is a situation where everybody is an outlaw. And these bozos, especially these Karen types who side with the left, they are only able to do so because of the cops. And there will be.
And then they have the victim program. They'll have victim programs where they give money out to victims. You know, that's what's the next step.
Will be defunded, and it won't be necessarily because of an agenda. It'll be because legit America is so broke and in so much debt that we will have to start cutting essential services. When that day comes, I'm guessing 5 to 10 years. Guys like me are ready for it, and I won't need the police to patrol my problem. But they will.
And here's another thing, guys. If the people in the United States gave their guns away, they don't have to worry about the government, the United States government. They got to worry about China invading your shores with guns.
Yeah.
They have a couple billion people. Can you?
We have a
imagine
standing army right now, and
Yeah,
without it,
we have an army on all shores. Nobody will even think about attacking. But if you take the guns away from the people, why would China say, well, let's send a 10 million man army over there with guns? Just like that.
Yeah, it would just be target practice for us if they did that now.
If they did it now, forget it.
You guys remember what the admiral from World War II, Yamamoto, said when he was asked about invading America? He told the Japanese leaders.
Yeah, he did. He said behind every blade of grass.
Each blade of, And so
that's right, baby.
Deal. That is the real
Don't forget about it.
The political left, they will be the people that will be in the most trouble if, ironically enough, if their agenda goes through, which it probably will ultimately, they are going to be the most at risk. They will be unarmed. They believe in this whole everybody gets a trophy thing. You better believe foreign troops will not believe in that. You better believe that when it's one against man against man in a future, dystopia America, that people are not going to be giving you points because you claim to be part of a victim group.
Okay, FBS celebrating potentially having a hand in teenager Sonny Money getting beat up. No, he had no hand in it, and neither did Jimmy Clandor. They're trying to pretend they do by making certain remarks. Sonny got beat up. He was with a group of friends. I know the story. He was with a group of friends, and they started fighting like friends do. And he fought, and one of the friends beat him up. That's what happened. Nobody came from behind no bushes. Nobody came behind. Jimmy Clandor didn't set him up. FBS, he got beat up because Sonny, let's face it, he could talk a little bit. He probably pissed the wrong person off and got beat up. Sonny's mistake is he should have never showed it. Take your beating like a man, don't show it. And and then we got Stacks showing it, and then Stacks going, heck, I got beat up 100 times in my life. I'm thinking,
we know that.
100 times.
I've watched that video 100 times you put up. It's hilarious.
Right there, that's proof that everybody gets honest at some point.
Yeah, and everyone gets beat up though. I've been beat up before. We're all human beings. I had a guy punch me with one punch and give me 2 black eyes with one punch, broke my nose, and knocked it sideways off my face. What are you going to do?
Hey, shit happens.
Hey, we've all taken one, big time, and I've had a police beating myself before. So I'm no fan. I am no fan of the cops in that sense. And these defund the police types. A better way to handle all that is to get rid of the laws that these politicians make them enforce.
Have you guys seen what's going on in California right now with the shopping, with the jewelry stores?
They're running into stores and they're ripping them
and there's certain groups of people, we're not going to say, but it's the same group of people who cry about everything. And guess what? They're going into these shops. They're all of the same demographic, and they're all doing the same thing. Man.
Okay.
What happened?
Someone's putting up a gun sign with their hand. We can't be doing that here.
I forgot.
Ramondi told Northern Lights is my favorite indica. Don't have in Florida right now.
Oh, I miss Northern Lights. That was one of my favorites. I haven't smoked that in 10 years. Jeez.
Rossi, nice kid, looking to 3. Well, I don't know. You're writing there, my man. Write it out, brother. Write it out. So you're not writing it out. Okay. So what do you think's going to happen? Do you think it's only a matter of time before somebody's actually going to have the balls to get in their car and go meet somebody that's messing with them on YouTube?
You mean the stupidity to meet with somebody? Well, I think when you think about the intelligence quotient that is passed around between these groups, I think it's just a matter of time. It's not like we're dealing with, rocket scientists. These guys are thin-skinned and they get upset, and it's just a matter of time. Or a matter of time before somebody's standing in line to get ice cream and someone punches them in the face that they don't recognize. I mean,
and that's the thing, though. When you're on a podcast, you can bump into someone that recognizes.
You're not going to see them coming, but they're going to see you. So just and these are the same people that don't believe in the Second Amendment. So, do what you got to do. But if you invite problems, you better be ready to fucking handle them.
Lee Cole, it would be great to do shows about. We've done. I've done on Murder Mountain. We've done them on serial killers. And a matter of fact, I did it with Jeff. We've done a couple of them. Right, Jeff? We've done some shows.
We had started that off, and look, these guys, they're selectivist when it comes to the complaints. They'll ignore every piece of evidence that points against their argument and go with everything that goes for it, and then stuff that doesn't. So I could care less. And if you notice, it's the same profiles each time, and it's the same, basically the same 10 people. They say what they say. Who cares? I don't give a shit about most criticism of me. Most of it I don't even pay attention to, because I don't pay attention to much of what's going on here. At the same time, there's some people that are thin-skinned, and there's going to be probably a situation where, one of them decides to fight over this dumb stuff, and but
I think's going to happen? I think that the guys that they're insulting, who they call the rats, that were gangsters, when these guys get off papers, they better not bump into any of them.
Yeah, well, exactly. Norax talked about Borello the other day, and you can see that he even gets nervous.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you right now, Dean Borello is the kind of guy that I grew up with guys built like him. Those wiry guys, man, they knock people out, dude. I don't know him personally, but I've been in fights, and I don't like fighting guys that are that build.
Norax is only doing that because Borello is on paper and he knows he can't do anything.
Yeah, same with Jimmy Calandra. Jimmy Calandra is afraid of him too.
When he was locked up, you can tell that Norax was what we call a staff caller. A staff caller is the guy that starts a fight within earshot of the guards and the counter.
Or of help, yeah.
They'll break it up or whatever. He is a complete staff caller.
Jeff,
hold me back.
Watch out, I'm going to kick his ass and sell E4.
hey, we all know that guy. That's the guy that asks for help when you're beating him up. Help! Stop! Why are you doing this? It's like, dude, I'm not having a conversation with you right now. I'm kicking your ass.
When the cops are on camera and they say, "Stop resisting arrest." Stop resisting, because they don't say that in real life.
Are they say shit?
No.
Are they say shit like, "Please stop beating me up, I'll suck your dick"?
God damn! What shows are you watching, Lee? I gotta get cable again. What's going on here? What the hell's going on? I got rid of my cable and they put this kind of crap on.
My only issue with him is he's two-faced, and he deserves respect. He served. Never met a veteran like that. Yeah, a guy that keeps telling you that he's a veteran and brags about it and puts it in his name is very questionable. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and it's like, tell us a little bit about your experiences as a combat medic. Just curious, that's all. I'm not saying you're fake. I'd like to hear a bit about it, that's all.
Yeah, U.S. combat medic loves stacks because he is wearing a stolen uniform. And he is on that show all the time now. So, wait, Lee, you sold weed. I thought you hated all people who sold drugs. What happened? DP. I was young.
Weed's not a drug, damn it. And weed was a
wait
kid.
A minute. No, DP, that's a good question. I was young. When I've done things I shouldn't have been doing when I was young. There's no doubt. But when I'm talking drug dealers too, I'm talking about guys dealing crack and fucking.
Yeah, nobody steals their mom's television for weed, okay? There's a difference.
Or kills their family because they need some money to go out and buy some meth.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you can't even compare weed. Matter of fact, DP, that sounds like kind of a cop-out, like something an FBS simp would say.
People that do that talk about weed like that, they usually like their pills.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm the biggest pill popper going, according to people.
Be careful, Lee. They're going to make a meme about that shit now.
well, I get mad because I'm looking for these pills. I can't find these pills that I need.
Yeah, maybe a famous podcaster stole them from you.
Tom disappointed me. He's clearly on one side. He took down your video, and yes, Tom is playing on all sides.
Tom's a cop.
Yes, he just plays.
Tom's a fucking cop. I would never talk to Tom. I would look him right in the eye and say, "No, officer," and I would walk away. He's a cop.
Yeah,
I seen him in action.
Is somebody who goes where the money pot is at that moment. He definitely has his, he's definitely a whore when it comes to that stuff.
Well,
Just think of it. Yeah.
Well, the Four Horsemen, Joe of the Four Horsemen got mad at me one night because they were talking all this political stuff like a bunch of New York liberals. And I said, "Oh, you guys sound like a bunch of liberals." Joe started saying, "What do you mean I'm a liberal?" And I'm like, "Dude, you're saying all this New York liberal shit."
Yeah.
People that are conservative in New York aren't really conservative. They think they are. See, that's the thing.
It's like that phrase, California Republicans. I'll meet people here that claim to be, and then I'm like, okay, what do you believe on this issue? And then it's a left opinion. Okay, what about the next one? It's a left opinion. What about the next one? It's like,
I'm guilty, JC. I'm admitting I'm guilty of some of that stuff. I'm an independent, so I can say most of the time I do lean Republican, but there are certain issues I won't get into that I do lean on the liberal side, including marijuana, because you will not find any Republican legislator that are for marijuana in any way. So that's just one example. But yeah, for the most part, I'm pretty conservative.
There's a few issues, and then there's times, I recognize that progressives, because of FDR and the progressives, we now have Social Security. We have other programs
programs.
It was intended. The politicians robbed the fund, but they've been robbing it since the 80s. But the fact is that there's some decent programs, but nowadays they are, we see what they push, the racial agenda. For just on the race agenda alone, I would never vote for. I don't vote anyways now, but I would never vote for somebody from the left for that reason alone. That's like asking a black person in the 50s to vote for a racist in the South.
I'm guilty of voting.
A Jew in the 1920s to vote for a certain guy.
I'm guilty of voting. I'm guilty of voting for Ed Koch. So,
oh my God, I call him the Ghostbusters mayor. That's what I call him. He was the guy on Ghostbusters.
Gazzo said, "I saw Gotti when I was a kid. He had huge fighter hands. No doubt he was tough." Yeah, there's no doubt Gotti was tough. There's no doubt that Gotti took people out. But but Gotti didn't brag about it either.
But anybody that worked for Neil Delacroix had to be a tough guy, because Neil was a super street tough guy, and anyone that worked under him was beating the piss out of people and routinely pistol whipping people, at least. I promise you that.
Exactly. And
John Gotti was a tough guy, guys. Seriously. No joke.
See, it said, see, Lee, Tony is doing a live at the same time now. That's what happens when you flip-flop, Lee. Yeah, but I have 145 people here. So,
and it's quality, not quantity. The people that watch Lee's show are quality people. I'm not saying everyone that watches Tony isn't quality, but definitely the more intelligent people are over here. So what are you going to do?
And look at your name, Content Creators Cash App Wars. I mean, come on.
You're not an instigator at all.
Dude, and you come on here talking shit.
These are rookie trolls. I told you, these are rookies.
As a matter of fact, what you could do to me is you can go run over there and watch Tony's show, because I don't really need you that much here. I don't rely on live shows to make money. I don't rely on live shows to have 200 to 300 people here.
I think it's 9.
Dude, Jules, I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? I'm glad you're here. Messed up. This kid ran his mouth, nonstop challenging everyone. Didn't her mother? That's true. Sonny wanted to fight everybody.
Yeah, I had told Sonny, all I can do is advise him. Some people think me and Gene and Hootie control him. All we can do is give him advice, and I can say for a fact that me and Gene have both told him to stop going at people in some ways, some of the personal attacks and other things like that, especially the ones that are similar to what Norax does. He has somewhat listened, and hopefully now he'll listen a little bit more, because hey, sometimes it takes, I can imagine he probably talked smack to his friends, and let's just be honest, that's how he is when he's been drinking in particular, and they probably talk smack back and things happen. So these guys on MobTube, though, none of them could handle Sonny. I mean, Norax would get smashed up by Sonny when he.
Hey, listen, when I was about 20 years old, I was in Brooklyn, and some guy with a Volkswagen almost ran me off the road. It was down on Bragg Street, and he almost ran me off the road. And I started yelling at him and wanted to fight him and stuff. And I'll never forget, he got out of the Volkswagen. It was like he had needed grease to push the Volkswagen off his hips.
It was like he was born out of the car, like the car gave birth to him.
Yeah, he looked like Brock Lesnar, and he just got.
Oh, Jesus!
I looked right at him and I said, "Hey, nah, I'm just kidding, dude."
Yeah, see that.
There comes a time.
The people have, yeah. I told you when I was a cab driver, I used to get in altercations, and every once in a while, you got to learn to drive away, because there's some crazy people out there.
Where were you a cab driver, in San Francisco?
I was in San Francisco for 4 years. I drove a cab 4 days a week, 12 hours a day for 4 years. I learned more about human beings driving a taxi in San Francisco than anything else in my life. I've had Robin Williams in my taxi, Aaron Rodgers, Marshawn Lynch. I used to drive them back to UC Berkeley to their dorm rooms. Gavin Newsom. I used to drive his ungrateful ass to the opera and to his apartment and to his bar. So I'm going to write a book about my cab driving experience. Actually,
what's the first thing you think of when you think of Marshawn Lynch?
Running people over.
The first thing I think of is when that dumbass coach decided to pass the ball instead of running
the Super Bowl. Oh my
2-yard line, and he was running over everybody all day. Every run was over 6-7 yards, and they
passed it.
Pass the ball. I'll never forget that.
Never. No, I'm a Niner fan, so that was a very happy day for me. So yeah, I'll never forget it either.
Regular guy, I don't believe this. FBS charges $50 per month rent for subs to have a wrench. Combat Medic was late with the rent payment.
There you go. Everything's for sale, baby. Even the Gotti picture's for sale.
Lee, who put Tony Pizza in jail? Tony Pizza's not in jail here.
On someone's
I'll check. Just for the record, Ramondi is my nephew. I used to come illegally back to the United States and took him to Disneyland.
There you go. Hey, salute, kid. You're a good boy. Salute.
Hey, did you guys ever see that video of Ramondi selling cigars at Coney Island?
Yes, that's classic.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
Gangster Cigars is the name of the place.
He was wearing the same outfit he still has on. That feeling.
Except he was happy. He seemed happier then, didn't he?
Wow, that's crazy. These guys are going to dig their own hole. We've all said it for a long time. Now it's happening. Yes, dude, you're right. Absolutely right. James, he ain't got owned for talking tough all the time. The pics that you would have put up, whether or not he did, someone would have found out. He got his boots put to him. Yeah, he just got a good beating. He could have been punched in the eye one time too. I mean, if you're punched in the nose, your whole face would explode if you hit hard enough. That's a UFC.
Yeah, I told you that. That's what happened to me. They had to put 2 steel rods in my nostrils and re-break my nose. It was worse than getting punched. Horrible.
Hey, do you guys watch Dave D. Allen Brock's little video clips at all, Jeff?
I've seen him occasionally. He gets offended when I say that trolls are a bunch of, little boys that are.
Here's a funny though.
He might be the only exception to the rule. Perhaps MRD is too. Who knows? But D. Allen Brock, your situation is exactly what proves my rule. Your exception is what proves the rule of what I say.
Jeff, you're kind of breaking up right there. You're breaking up.
Yeah, Alan Brock. I said that his being the one exception is actually what helps prove my rule. Sometimes the exception proves the rule, and he's one of them.
Jordan, James Jameson, you probably praise people that get shot too, and not to shoot a regular old chat guy. Yep. Well, you know, unfortunately, you have a lot of people that don't understand self-defense. Go back and forth on watch FBS on Vinny's show last night. You could see how mad he was that he had to go on the show. He wasn't making money from it. FBS did go on that show last night. I seen that.
Yeah, I think he's addicted to the Cash App because I've never seen any channel on YouTube go live as much as him. I've never seen that before.
FBS even admitted he likes drama because sometimes there is nothing going on, so it gives him something to do for when he's not doing interviews. I can guarantee you one thing: tonight, FBS will do a show on me, on this show, and on Canarsie. Because Canarsie,
are you sure he's not going to do a show on the Sorellis for the 300th time? What the hell else can these fucking people tell you? Jesus Christ, you're reaching so far. Oh, I mean, yeah, you're nice people.
what's that?
I saw his shadow. I mean, there you go.
Somebody told me that.
Yeah. So the hearsay show, exactly. I smelled his cologne after he left my mom's house last week. Like, you guys, dude. I grew up around some certain famous people. My godfather was Jim Ray Hart, played for the Giants and the Yankees. That's who babysat me as a kid. I saw Bobby Bonds and Willie McCovey as a kid. Didn't think nothing of it. I don't get excited around famous people. Some of these people get starstruck, and that's simply what it is.
Jocelyn Maxwell, she's famous. Lee wouldn't let me out of the car. Okay.
Hey, ask her how her husband's hanging.
Yeah. I think she's gorgeous. I don't know why, but Grant, he's a good boy. Salute.
Yeah, I love that.
I wouldn't know why I would think she's gorgeous because according to everybody, I like little boys. So our girls, they can't make up their mind.
I know. They just make up what they want to. When people start insulting your looks and start making things up, you've won the argument.
Oh. Tom should put back all the shows and prove he's no one's side after last night's, to be honest. I don't even know what happened last night. I can't even watch him. I'll be honest with you. DP, Lee, can you admit you love the drama, though? No, because I haven't been on for 2 weeks with any drama, DP. So
Lee hasn't said people's names even. I gave you credit.
DP, you love the drama.
It got worse without Lee. That's the crazy part.
Someone calls you a chomo, you decide to defend yourself, and they're on you about drama.
Yeah, it's kind of funny,
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, we're not going to mention his name," but they keep mentioning it. It's JC East Coast. No one.
Oh God.
Oh, is this a friend of yours?
No.
No. It doesn't matter. See, can I answer this? Let me answer this.
Yeah.
Let me answer this. Sure. Look, whoever this guy is, it doesn't matter what you think about me. I don't care. All I care about is what the people who I grew up with, the people who I hustled with, my family thinks. You can think whatever you want. It doesn't make me 2 cents in my pocket. That's the difference between me and you. You're a low-level troll, and this is what you do. I don't know who you are. I don't care about you. You're nobody to me. So just do whatever you got to do. Say what you got to say. But at the end of the day, your opinion means nothing to me. Just know that.
And you know what? Anybody with a name like that is obviously an obsessed person of some type. They're probably at home, probably a loser. Because look, they're naming themselves after a name that I didn't even really have. I just used temporarily.
No, it's okay. I'm so used to people,
You know what?
Hey guys, I wouldn't even worry about it.
I'm flattered in a way.
I don't.
Hey, we all. If you don't have a hater, and you don't have an obsessed fan, then you're not doing something right.
Hey, listen,
Yeah.
everybody tells me what a horrible life I have. Like I live in an old folks home. I love my life. So
Yeah, me too. Hey,
I
Lee,
love
can
my
I please
life.
tell you? Hey, JC, we've had this conversation. I've had this conversation on the phone with both of you gentlemen. We love our lives, people. This is the difference between us and a lot of the negative people in the comment section. JC up here, he lives in a 5-6 bedroom house in California. Lee lives comfortably, does whatever he wants, and no one tells him what to do. I live in California. I have money in my pocket. My kids are doing great. My son graduated from high school. Been with my wife for 20 years. Guys, we're happy people. We're just sad that there's so many miserable scumbags in the comment section trying to change that fact, you know?
Yeah, and you know, most of the people that do this stuff are miserable, you know, and
Yep.
they're miserable. You know,
Well, yeah,
hey, listen, I don't
you
wish
know what,
miserable
with
on
them,
anybody.
all they have, literally all they have left in life, many of them, is the house that they are in because of their mom or dad and who's going to pass away. And they know they have nothing after that. And all they have aside from that is a keyboard and their
Yeah,
anger.
I've lived in the same corner house in California for 12 years. So no one can ever say anything that bothers me because my life is steady and happy, you know? So that's
And
how I feel.
I live in the most conservative area in the United States of America, Southwest Texas.
Yep,
Hey,
my brother's right near you.
F-22, that's not accurate. Tony was attacking me first, well over a month or so ago. I let it go, and then he decided to be nice, and I decided to be cordial, as you guys saw when he was on with me a week ago, and then he went at it again. So look, I don't even care about.
Hey, listen,
the dude is homeless.
Yeah,
The
I
guy
gotta
is
bring
a
up.
homeless.
Yeah.
He's ranting and raving. I honestly don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cane Shade. How about Cane Shade? That poor bastard has to get up every day in Miami Beach near the ocean.
You know what I mean? You got a good life too.
Yeah, Cane Shade has. Sometimes he'll like call me. He'll be on the video, and in the back you see the palm trees blowing and the ocean behind them.
How do you beat that? I'm gonna go salmon fishing after this show. I'm gonna go to the river out here, the Sacramento River, and fish for salmon. I got a good life.
My kidnap victim's back. Let me out of the car, Lee. I won't tell. You know what's funny? They think this shit bothers me. It doesn't bother me. I find it.
No, it's funny.
Funny as shit.
I told you what I did when people called my phone because somebody doxed me. I just answered it and said I was the police, and then the calls stopped fucking coming.
You know what happened with me though? When I got doxxed, it was on Stax's channel, and he has the lowest life people on his channel.
Oh yeah. Those are the hot dogs and macaroni eaters right there.
Yeah, they dude, man, you had grown men sending me dick pictures.
Yeah. His
Grown
page and Tony's
fucking
page.
men.
I know, Lee. I was there. I was traumatized. I saw.
I'll tell you,
Oh my God.
busybodies are funny. They're funny as can be. And one thing with me is these guys think they get me in this one area. Oh, I found this address or that or whatever. Folks, in the 1990s, I was well trained and well versed on how to keep my finances and all kinds of things off of public record and away from the DEA's prying eyes.
It's called not being a stupid criminal.
Before I went public, you guys, I made sure to do background checks on myself to see what would show up on Google and other places. Believe me, you don't have my address, folks. I guarantee there's not a single person in the mob tube sphere who has it, but they act like they got this and that. Every single one of their facts and details is based on what I have actually put out there. And what I put out there is what I want out there.
Okay, I'm going to put it, Wise Guy TV, if you want to jump in there and tell me what's a dumb statement, because I watched your video today that you did, and you were simping to certain people and you were going after other people for them. We could talk about that if you want to come on the show and talk to me, Wise Guy.
That's the worst. When people simp for other people, they go into a chat room and they carry somebody else's junk. That's so annoying.
No, he has a video. He did a video. He basically went after Tony And then everybody else Tony was against, he was saying, "Oh, but they're okay." Come on, dude. Tony's not the perfect guy, but they're no better than Tony. That's what it comes down to. You might say they are, but they're not. I mean, they're battling it out with him. He's got these Canadian soy boys.
Yeah, you know what? And really, I think that Pizza, if he's watching this, he would do well if he would just start telling his stories and stop arguing with FBS. FBS isn't even near Tony Pizza's level in terms of close and relatedness.
But it's low hanging fruit for Tony. So Tony's going for the low hanging fruit.
Himself.
Tony is a real guy who did know real people.
Who do you think's happier, Tony or FBS in real life?
In real life, who's happier? This is going to make people cringe, but it's true. I think Tony's happier because Tony's free to do what he wants. Yeah. He's not bound by anything or anyone. He could do whatever he wants. Hey, I was homeless for 2 years in San Francisco. I remember seeing people like Tony. I always had a job. I worked for Labor Ready, and I would go to the gym, and I would use the showers there. But for 2 years, I just didn't know anybody in the city because I was raised in the suburbs, and it was hard for me. So I know what it's like to be homeless, but I also know that you have choices. And there's a lot of people like Tony that really do choose to be homeless. He's been there 16 years. And let's face it, he's kind of successful. He's still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Alan Brock says this for JC. I might be a troll, but I've got a fucking job. I worked for NBC for 23 years. Don't tell me I don't have a life. Laugh out loud.
Yeah. Okay. So you know, Alan, if you worked for NBC, first off, my condolences. Secondly, you must have. If you worked for their news division, then you understand how to write fiction and public relations. But
there you go.
Look. Hey, D. Allen, you're all right. There's nothing against you. Don't take offense when I say that trolls are a bunch of kids living at their mom's house.
And Robbie says this, Lee, would you let Gay C out of the car? Gunner rules. But you see, Robbie, this is the difference between me and other channels. I'll put you up there. I won't knock you out of my chat. I'm not going to erase you where you can say stuff. If you want,
raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're blocked in FBS's chat room. All 5 of my profiles are blocked.
You know, the bad thing about that, FBS doesn't realize that half these people are blocked because these guys with his wrenches are fucking these people. You know.
Yeah. Oh, right now there's a big wrench controversy. Yeah.
I was blocked 2 months ago, and you know that I never blocked FBS in my room. I never blocked any of these guys that hate my guts in my room.
Yeah, you never blocked me, and I was hard on you.
The one time that I blocked somebody, I was one of FBS's wrenches back in the day, and I really never used it. And so after he got mad at me, he forgot that I had one still. And this one night, I got sick of hearing him run his mouth. So I hopped on there and I blocked a few people. The one guy that I blocked that got me caught was Steve Gennaro Boots. I blocked him and he went to FBS. And look, no offense to Steve Gennaro. It wasn't you personal. I was just being a dick towards FBS. And then that's when FBS discovered that I had a wrench, and his whole chat lit up with, what? JC has a wrench? How'd this happen? I mean, just all his friends were like, why didn't you give me a wrench? You gave one to blah, blah, blah. And
here's another question.
Gennaro, I apologize for blocking you, okay?
I want to ask you this question, guys, and give me an honest answer. Would Carlos prefer a wrench or his penis?
I would prefer a rose. He wants a rose. I'm going with C.
That's a tough one, man. Maybe he should get that box full of wrenches and install some new teeth. I'm tired of that guy. He blocks me everywhere I go. And I have a wrench in MRE's chat room, and I never block him. I let him, and I tell him, I go, you're free to talk, Carlos. I'm about freedom. If you're afraid of words, then what kind of coward are you if you're afraid of words? Think about that for a minute. You're afraid of words?
Yeah,
Hey, wise guy, I put the-
Carlos has he looks like his mouth was smacked with a wrench with a lack of teeth.
Hey,
And
wise
he-
Either
guy,
crack, yeah.
wise guy, I put.
Carlos
Hold
Munoz
on one
would
second,
get
guys.
smacked out here.
Wise guy, I put a link down there if you want to jump
And the
up here
Vatos would do it to him, too.
and defend yourself. But you know,
They're scared. Most of these
quit
guys in the
biting
comment section,
MRE's
they're
jokes,
scared.
Callie G. That's a code red.
Oh, Code Red, that's another FBS simp. So whatever you say will be disregarded.
He'll come in here to me, and then he'll talk some horrible shit about.
Well,
me.
he must have bigger biceps than me because he holds FBS's junk in every chat room. You know what I mean? That must get old. A lot of these guys, man. It's like, look, FBS is a coward and he can't show up. Why are you in here commenting for him?
Here's the question: if Jimmy Clandra was told to whack Paulie G, he'd have done it
Right away.
Yeah. What are you going to say? No?
Right away.
You're going to say no to Anthony Sparrow? That you're going to tell him no?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was BS because he got out of jail and he hung out with the so-called killers for a while. And, you know, he just is a rat. Everyone has a story that tells.
And here's wise guy. Here's where you're losing your credibility. Cuban B, 100, 100, 100, 100. Come on, dude. How can you take your show serious if you have a certain group of guys you just love? Aurora Emily, I dropped the link. It's in there. But I got to see your face. I'm not going to just let anybody in.
Hey, Lee, I actually got to go. I have to heat up some food for my kids.
Yeah, I'm going to be going shortly, too. I'm going to stay on about 10 more minutes, but I appreciate you.
Hey, I appreciate you letting me on. JC, Lee, everyone in the chat, have a happy Thanksgiving. A special fuck you to the trolls. Also have a happy Thanksgiving. And God bless everyone. Take care.
Hey, thanks.
Trolls
Right.
have Thanksgiving. Trolls have Thanksgiving
Yeah.
too, you know.
Trolls gotta eat turkey.
I'll have you join me for the show where I announce when I'm gonna kick off everything with that crazy mafia war that happened in the late 70s out here in Cali. There was 10 guys clipped near your place up there, and there was 8 clipped in my city. LA had 10 or 12 guys got clipped there just in 1 year, and it's
just call me before.
That very good to talk about.
Yeah, I'm definitely there.
You know what's up.
You guys are great. No problem, JC. You guys call me whenever, and God bless. Okay.
Happy
Thanksgiving. Take care, my man.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
You too. Hey, yeah, connection. My fault. My connection. No, I totally understand. I totally understand what you meant. Okay, so listen, that's pretty much it. I'm going to close down today. But once again, Jeff, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no worries. Keep up the good work, Lee. And your detractors like Mr. Drinkathon over there at that one show, they can hate all they want, but you know what happens? They expose themselves at the end of the day. And your haters are exposing themselves. Same with mine. These people are collapsing.
I'll be honest with you, my man. I feel good about my life. I'm a happy man. It doesn't matter what people say.
Absolutely. Same here.
As long as you know what's true in your life.
For sure, buddy. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you people out there that are Lee Cole fans and fans of my show. And for those of you who hate my show, I'll tell you what. I'm going to wish you a happy Thanksgiving too.
Okay, you take care.
You know, I'm just that kind of nice guy.
You take care, my man.
All right.
Okay, I just like to say thank you, everybody, for coming in today. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to try to do more lives. And the reason I've been staying back on the lives is because of all the bullshitting going on here. I'm kind of enjoying watching these guys go at it and not being involved with it. But anyway, everybody take care. Have a nice Thanksgiving. I really appreciate everybody. Take care, people.